Hello, I bring greetings to you in any part of the world you are watching us right now. Welcome once again to my podium of influence. I'm very much grateful to you all for those of you that have been a regular subscriber to this podium. And those of you that are just coming or stumbling over this for the first time, I want to say welcome and then feel free to share this video, like and then comment, and as well as subscribe to this podium of influence if you appreciate what we do on this podium. There is very important topic we want to look into still on our parenting series, which says tips on how to handle trust issues among parents and their young adults or teenagers. Tips on how to handle trust issue among between parents and their young adults or teenagers. So there's a place I want us to read in the page of the scripture, and then we might refer other pages in the scripture as our rituals has always been. So I'm going to read Genesis chapter 27. Feel free to read alongside with me. Genesis 27 is we're supposed to take the whole chapter, but we'll just read verse 21 and 24 to save time. So I'll read. You can feel free to read alongside with me. Genesis 27 verse 21 to 24. And Isaac said unto Jacob, Come near, I pray thee, that I may feel thee, my son, whether thou be my very son Esau or not. And Jacob went near unto Isaac his father, and he felt him, and said, The voice is Jacob's voice, but the hands are the hands of Esau. The voice is Jacob's voice, but the hands are the hands of Esau. And he discerned him not, because his hands were hairy, as his brother Esau's hands. So he blessed him. Now, verse 24, he said, And he said, Art thou my very son Esau? And he said, I am. Now, this is a scenario where trust is where the parent, being Jacob, the father, is having trust issue with his twins. You know, at times it's very very difficult to recognize identical twins. It's just parent that uh, to some point can easily identify who is who. But what we are looking at is a trust issue that a parent ought to develop between either his daughter, his son, as they are growing up, either they are teenagers, from moving from teenagers or to teen age to their adult age. That's what we are looking at today. And the reason why we had to come up here too, a scenario came up let's say a few hours before this video, where a young lady was crying because the parent don't seem to trust her, and she also crying because she wished to confide in the parent, but it seems as though the parent is not keeping let's say is not keeping a secret. There's this chit chat that's supposed to exist between mommy and then the daughter, or probably the daughter and then the daughter and the father. There are some young adults or teenagers that prefer telling their daddy their secrets, especially the girl child, more when compared to telling their mommy some certain secrets about them. Though ideally it's expected that the mother should know more secrets about her daughter, but there are some families that the daughter prefer confiding in the dad while they are growing up, compared to confiding the mom. Maybe the mom is too harsh, it will make her that she just run away, or the harshness will scare her away from confiding in the mother. So the young lady was sharing her ordeal that about some things happening, like the area of receiving gifts from the opposite gender, and then things like that, precisely receiving gifts from the opposite gender. She confided in the mom, and probably she's expecting the mom, hey, to tell her, don't do this is the risk of, and then probably you're not matured enough to handle issue of receiving gifts from the opposite gender. She's moving to her adult hood, not teenage. She's not a teenager now. She's moving from being a teenage to from her teenage to adult, young being a young adult. So the whole thing become a problem, kind of a misunderstanding between her and her parents. And her parents will be like, we don't really trust what this our daughter is up to, and so many other issues similar to that one. And she's not the only one passing through that stage or that similar stage. I went through that too. There were times that my parents, as in my guy, did accuse me of stealing from them. They don't seem to trust me. They think that I'm stealing from them. There are times they also accuse me of keeping a wholesome relationship, like I'm keeping a girlfriend out there, of which there's nothing like that. So, and that's why we're coming up with this. That times parents tend to have issues with their young adult. They don't seem to trust them. At times they even delay their admission into the high institution, or yes, their admission into high institution, because they said our watchful eyes is not over that child. We don't know what he or she might be up to. I've heard of a parent. I was told of a young man that very vibrant and intelligent. He left high school, secondary school with a very good grade, but the parent delayed his admission into the high institution because they felt the young man is not matured enough, probably, or we don't know what might become of him if we just release him into the release him out of our watch. Because of that trust, don't trust that child to take wise decision, or probably they are nursing fear. They are on behalf of that their son. So precisely, I would want to call the attention of our mother or mothers all over the world. There are tips you would need to follow in order to at least come to the point where you can trust your sons and trust your daughters. To some points you can vouch for them. I know my son will not do this. I know my son will not do that. At least I don't say you should like 100%, but to some point, maybe 80%, my son can't do this. Leave the 10% for them. They might do that. Okay, boy, you as a father, you as a mother should come to the point whereby you can trust your young adults. If they say something to you, accept them, and have broken that trust on several occasions. Because no matter how hard you try to cage them, if they want to deceive you, they will still deceive you. Yes, no matter how hard you try to put them under control, if they want to still skip out of your watch, they'll still skip out. Let's say, for instance, you just put them in a wall. Like, you don't want them to go out. You don't want them to go out, probably keep girlfriend or boyfriend, or try to do things that are not right. Even if you want, lock them in a big tower. If they want to get out of that tower and still come back without you knowing, they will do it, because they always find a way of doing that. Because the young lady in question here that pushed us to come to this point and to talk to parents all over the world as part of the effort to make in order to help out, is that she said that if I'm to be a bad girl, right from my 7 year or 8 years of age, I will have become a bad girl. But I thought it to myself. She said, there's nothing I gain from there. I rather I'm the one losing. So I had to let go of those lifestyle and try to live my life decently and also to please God. But my parents don't seem to understand me. And it's disheartening. I'm just quoting from what the young lady concerned said. And even where we read in the scripture, Jacob, though there are scenarios that made him that he could not record, he could not see very well, he had to feel. He's blind, he had to feel. So he had to feel the son, yet Jacob deceived him. So no matter the strategy we put up in order to, let's say, control them, put them under control, if they want to deceive you, they will still deceive you. So the tips we are sharing here is that on a bit to build that trust with your young adult or teenagers that are still under your watchful eyes, I'll first of all want you to try to understand them. No one is that understand them by trying to know their view about life. How do they view a relationship between the opposite gender, male and female relationship? Try to understand their view about sex, about marriage. Yes, because that's the area we're having some big deal. You see people taking in out of wedlock. Probably they are misguided. Try to know their definition of love. How do they define love? Are they just looking at the romantic aspect of love? Or they are looking at love in all encompassing, both strategic at the family level, eros, philia, all various aspects of love. Try to know their view. How do that young man, how do that young lady see love? Or is she just looking at just the romantic aspect of love, the bed rose and all those things? If you try to get their view about life, then you can now come in areas they are getting it wrong and you guide them right. Try to know the one they have known, then you can now guide them into the one they have not known. I think this will go a long way to help on trying to build that trust. And if they say something to you, I'm not saying you should just automatically believe, especially those people that might have broken that trust in the first time that you have for them. Make research, and if you find out that what they are telling you is not true, you go to the point of calling their attention. You say, this is what you told me, and I've gone this extent to prove what you told me, and I found out that it's not true. You give them reasons why they need to live a transparent life, so that you as their parent can be able to trust them. Okay, while growing up, there were times that I was accused of stealing. It was very, very painful because I didn't do anything as such. So they had to call people, call neighbors, because and we're like so much they were announcing the whole thing and it looked so embarrassing. I was wounded emotionally to the point that I refused eating. I went to school and then come back, but I just did refuse eating because the appetite for food at home that day was not even there, was lost completely because I was accused of something I didn't do. Along the line, they found the missing money and they called me to apologize. He said, we are very, very sorry. We later found the money at this particular place. And I said, fine, now that you found the money, you better go and call all those people you called them earlier and told them I stole your money, and tell them I didn't steal your money, because it's a bad name to me. So if you find out that what they told you is not true, you call their attention and give them the reason and the risk of continuing doing that they will lose your trust, not mine. That one aside. And if they confide in you about an issue, can you try to make it secret? Please. Okay, you as a mother now, your daughter confided in you. Don't just blow the whole alarm and then use that same that word, that particular secret they kept in your hand. You made it open. Maybe she just wants this to be between you and her alone. If you want to tell her father, you want to relate it to your husband, you should seek for the consent of that child, that daughter of yours, that son of yours, before you relate the matter to your husband. You say, can I talk to your daddy about this? If she said no, fine. Tell her that there is need for you to talk to the dad about that issue. If she says yes or he says yes, then you can now go ahead. She'll have this confidence that yes, you respected her secret and then you sought for her consent before relating that issue to another person. If she finds that you told her dad or you told her mom or you told his dad or mom what she confided in you without her consent, she will not have the boldness to come to you again. Say, the last time I told mommy about this, she'd not even allow me to finish talking. I've already had it from dad and also the people around. She will lose that confidence she have in you to trust you with her secrets, and she will be afraid. If I should tell you about this one, the one I told you previously, you lost it. If I should tell you about this one now, you will definitely lose it. And then within her, there are some certain things she would like to confide in you to be free. Let's say, for instance, now you send her an errand or you send him an errand. They are young people, especially the issue of their emotional area is very, very sensitive. When relationship issues is concerned, when receiving gifts from the opposite gender is concerned. And also, you look at the area whereby the young man concerned has developed feelings for another person, another young lady out there. He needs someone to guide him so that he will not get the lady out there pregnant, or she, the young lady, should not also get pregnant. Because most people are deceived because they don't seem to have a guide, especially their parents. Maybe the first time someone told him or told her, I love you, she needs a clarification. He needs a clarification of where that love is coming from. Is it normal love that mommy and daddy has for me, or there's another aspect of love too that I don't know? And on a bit to be loved or show love or receive love, some of them they fall in a man's bed, and some of them they deceive another young girl out there and get her pregnant. And after getting her pregnant, they'll still bring that pregnant lady or girl to your house. If you are close enough, if you are careful enough to understand them, and they confided in you, you should be able to guide them when they are developing that feelings for the opposite gender. It is not only in the area of relationship now, also in the area of business. Business, choice of career, decision making. There are occasions that they will rule you out of your life because if they tell you about the decisions they're about to make, you might be too judgmental. You will not come to their understanding. You will not come to the level of their understanding. Let's take from where we read, it was Rebecca that propelled or compelled Jacob to do what he did to his father. Had it been Rebecca, probably relate to Isaac, that God has given her a revelation that Jacob is going to be the leader, that God has given her a revelation that Jacob is going to be great. I think they will come to the level of understanding whereby the dad can share or distribute the blessing between the two siblings, both between Esau and Jacob. But Rebecca did not relate that to her husband. So, being that Rebecca understands Jacob, Jacob trusts Rebecca the mom, and Esau, by the virtue of the food that Esau, by the virtue of the food he gives to the father Isaac automatically fall in love with the first son. So, and because of that, now the deception had to come in and trust issue had to come in. That Jacob had to deceive the father in order to get blessing from him. At times, children are like that. Maybe they're asking you for school fee. The school fee is only about 5,000 naira. But if they tell you, Daddy, I need shoe, I need something, I need pocket money, you will not give them that money. They had to develop a means to deceive you and get more money from you. Instead of telling you that my school fee is only about 5,000 naira, they tell you that my school fee is 10,000 naira. Then they ask us to pay a extra levy of 5,000 naira. They siphon money out from you. But if they tell you that, hey, Daddy, I need this particular thing, this particular thing about me has gotten bad, I need to fix it, or I needed money to transport myself to this particular place. If you are considerate enough, they will be so open and plain to you. But lack of your consideration will make they will not confide in, they will not open up to you. They will not tell you the exact truth. They will develop means of trying to deceive you. One, get their views about life. Secondly, try to be considerate. You were once a young person before you got married. You are once a teenager, a young adult before you get to that stage as a parent. There are challenges you went through. Don't let your children pass through that same challenges you went through. Try to be considerate. Okay, fine, I am sending this money to you. The extra money on it is for your pocket money. If finance is concerned, there are young adults that got to a point of even threatening their parents to get money from them. Some even go and single-handedly self-kidnap themselves. They hand over themselves to let me use the word kidnappers, and then they will now call their parents, and the parents pay the money. They share the money 50-50 to whosoever that they have made that agreement, which is very, very bad. Of which it will not get to that level if you understand your children, if you are considerate enough. Try to understand them And then don't be too judgmental. Okay, if I come up to you as my dad and tell you that there's a girl on the street there that I have feelings for, or there's this classmate of mine that you should sit beside me, my heart skips more than its normal rate of beating. Don't be too judgmental and say, you are turning to be a bad boy. Tell them how it's a normal thing. If you're having that kind of feeling, it's a normal thing. But you know what? You should not obey that your feelings. You're not even old enough to build a home. If you are to go and bring that your classmate now, or that your coursemate, can you take good care of her? I'm talking about the male folk now. If it's your son, you also look at it too in the other area too. If it's your daughter, try to be considerate. Then you can now guide them on what to do about the challenges they are coming up, because they are going to a place, a world they have not gone to, but you have passed through that route before. Your experience can guide them. So you can come to the level where you can trust your daughter. You can come to the level where you can trust your son. They can confide in you. You should be their parent. Apart from being that parent, you also be their friend. Under 12 years of age, you ought to be a father, mother unto them. But once your children has crossed 12 years of age, from 12 upward, you develop yourself to be their friend. You woo them as their friend so that they can easily confide in you. Any challenges they are going through as teenagers or young adults, they should be able to feel free to confide in you. There are other tips that I would have loved to share with us, but for the sake of time, we'll not go further. We'll be stopping here. But try to understand them, try to be considerate, and don't be too judgmental. I am begging you. I am becoming their voice this day. And if you are to apply this, it will get to a point that they will hardly tell you lies. I was communing with another young person, a young adult. She said, I cannot tell my mom a lie. I can't. She will definitely find out. Because before I finish telling that lies, I'm going to start stammering. And she'll be like, why are you doing this? Why are you doing that? You should grow with your children, with your young adult and teenagers, to the point that they can confidently not, as in, they will not even think twice to tell you every truth. Because they are not happy when they cannot confide in you. And any secret, before I end this particular set or this particular episode, any secret they entrusted into your hand, please don't open it to anyone without their consent. How will you feel? I told you about something, and then before I know it, what I told you, the community has heard about it. I'll feel bad. I'll be crushed within. They also felt or feels like that. If they confide in you, mommy, daddy, about maybe they even committed a crime. I'm not saying that you should shield them, you should cover bad things. Okay? But to some point, before you let 1 or 2 ears hear about what they confided in you, you should seek for their consent. If they tell you go ahead, fine, you go ahead. And if you are also going to divulge that secret, tell them reason why you need to divulge that secret. And then you guide them and correct them. If you're not trustworthy, they will not confide in you, and they'll make series of mistakes that still under your roof, but they have made that mistake that they will live to regret. There are some ladies that they have lost their virginity. Their mom doesn't know. Their mom say, I'm still counting that my daughter is still a virgin, because the daughter has lost that trust they have. They cannot confide in their mom anymore. There are some young people that have children that their parent doesn't know. As a young man, they impregnated a lady out there, and because of the fear, if I tell my dad will kill me, my dad will stop my education, stop sponsoring me. They might even push the young lady to commit abortion and some other evil thing that they on a bit to cover that secret, they will go at any length to commit that atrocities. It's not good. As a parent, as a mother, as a father watching this video, please try as much as you can to come up to the level where you can trust your children. And if they entrust you with any secrets of their life, before divulging that secret to anybody, either you want to tell your wife, you want to tell anybody at all, seek for their consent. Please grow to that point where you can trust your children. If you can't trust them, who else will? And if they lose that confidence they have in you, and they confided in another person outside, who the person might be the wrong person, they will misguide your children. And once the calamity starts falling, you are the one that will cry more. They'll bring high blood pressure for you. But God forbid that such kind of thing will happen. And that's why we're coming here to tell you, because to be forewarned is to be forearmed. Feel free to share this video. Feel free to comment. And then if there are more tips you felt that is needed for other parents out there all over the world to get to hear, please drop it at the comment section. And we'll be very, very happy that you did. Don't feel bad to share this video, and also to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Help us to grow so that we can serve you better. Thanks so much. We will stop here for now. We might come up to share more tips on this series.